wickedness, and they had the understanding that they was the Israelites. So these nations, these people, okay, are still here today. Okay, they're still here today. They just under different names. Okay, and like I said before, some of these nations were vessels unto honor, and some of these nations are vessels unto dishonor. To the end that one nation was going to rule above another, and the other one was going to be completely wiped off the face of the earth. That's within the book of Obadiah. Okay, so this is back within the book of 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, and the 2nd Ezra 6. And this is the point, the 9th verse says, for Esau is the end of the world. So you're talking about the end of the world. Okay, who's in rulership right now? Okay, it ain't the Canaanites out there from South Africa and so on and so forth. It ain't the Hamitic nations. Okay, it certainly ain't the Arabs, although they got a blessing up by way of the oil and so on and so forth. But they ain't the ones that is in control. Okay, they own America. That's the Edomites that the scripture speaks about, and there's a heavy judgment that was going to come upon them. And when you check out what they do onto these different nations, you realize where the Most High was going to put a heavy judgment upon them. That's within the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, which I'll get in a second. Okay? So 2nd Ezra 6 and 9 says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So what's that it that followeth? We're talking about the kingdom of heaven. Now that's not some kingdom out there within the sky somewhere. Okay, when we're talking about the kingdom of heaven or the hell, we're talking about the conditions that was going to be played out upon the face of the earth. So right now, you go to where the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, they're in a position of being in hell. Okay, why? Because they went off on the Lord's statutes, commandments of the Most High. Okay, they didn't follow the ordinances of the Most High had put forth out them for to do the covenant. Okay, which was established by what? By way of blood, and really it was set up that we was going to go off because the scripture says that what? The creature was made subject unto vanity. Now you got it to where you had the new covenant that was going to be set up, of which we're in a transitory period between the old covenant and the new covenant, and that was set up unto who? That was set up unto the 12 tribes of Israel, so that they was going to move from a position of being in hell to being in a position of being blessed. In fact, let's go into that right quick before I go into the I know I quoted a lot of scriptures. I'll go into Isaiah 14, Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, and then we swing off of there. But first and foremost, let's go into the book of Hebrews, the 8th chapter, okay? Because a lot of people got a misconception of what heaven and hell is. Okay, a lot of people think that, okay, you're gonna die. Okay, if you do good. Okay, if you let if you let people cross the road or something like that, the Most High was gonna bless you when you go out there and after you die. That's not what the scripture speaks about. Okay, these conditions of being in a princely position or in a lowly position was going to be played out upon earth, man. Okay, starting first and foremost with the book of Hebrews, the 8th chapter. Okay, this is what the Most High said, that this was the blessing that was going to go out there onto the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, he says, for finding fault with them, for finding fault with who? The Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, whom he had established a covenant with from the foundations of the earth. Okay. He saith, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Okay, the same people as the first covenant was established by. Okay, matter of fact, when you go into the book of Romans, the 9th chapter, it says, Romans, the 9th chapter and 1, okay, it goes into the fact that it's according to a seed, okay, a generation rather more a nation of people. Okay, it says, the days come, saith the Lord, when I make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers when I took them out of the hand of Egypt, because that covenant was made out. That covenant had a particular fault, and the particular fault was in the covenant. The particular fault was the people that the covenant was established with, because the scripture says that what? Their heart was made on stony. Okay, it was like a mind of stone. Okay, because they was hard-headed, but now he was going to reestablish that, and he was going to give them a heart of flesh to do what? To do righteousness. Now you might be thinking, what's this got to do with heaven and hell and blessings and cursings and so on and so forth? Because when you go back onto the original establishment, back within the book of Deuteronomy, I think the 28th chapter is going to let me know where I need to, okay. Okay, so you might be thinking, what's the covenant going to do with heaven and hell and people doing well and people doing badly? Because when you go into the first covenant that we broke, that's why we're in the conditions that we're in right. But when the Most High sets up the second covenant with the 12 tribes of Israel, no other nation, okay, and they're just doing perpetually, righteousness, they was going to be in a perpetual state of being in rulership. And this is what we're going to see here within the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter on the 1st verse. It says, and it shall come to pass, if thou will hearken diligently unto the Lord, okay, to observe all of his covenants. Wait, hold on a minute. Okay, when we read the scriptures within the book of Ezekiel, Okay, when we read the scriptures within the book of Ezekiel and the book of Hebrews, the 8th chapter, and we read about the second covenant, okay, the Most High was going to make us do right all the time, man. Okay, the Lord was going to have it to where we was going to be in a perpetual state of being what? Of being righteous. So when he says, when thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord, we was always going to hearken unto, when the second covenant is established, when the Lord returns, we was always going to be in a position of hearkening unto the Lord perpetually, man. Okay, you wasn't going to be, you know, out there being tempted to be eating some pork or something like that. Okay, you wasn't going to be out there, you wasn't going to have a whole bunch of Jakes out there worshiping Dagon or Baal or anything like that. All the nation was going to be righteous, man. Okay, that's why it was going to be like a Garden of Eden again upon the face of the earth. Because why? Because when the Israelites was going to be doing right, okay, and establishing order upon the face of the earth and whipping these nations into subjection so that they do right, the earth was going to be blessed. Remember, the scripture says that what? The wages of sin is death. Okay, death comes by way of what? Famine, earthquakes, diseases. But when you go into where the people are being ruled by a righteous nation that are made unto righteousness, that are blessed with the Lord's statutes, commandments of the Most High, impregnated within their mind, guess what? The whole earth was going to be blessed, man. Okay, so it says here what? But see, they still was going to be in a position of being in slavery. Okay. They were still going to be subject unto the 12 tribes of Israel. And that's what a lot of these nations got a problem with. But really, when you go into the nitty and gritties of all of that, they're slaves unto Esau right now, man. Okay, and look at what Esau's done with the world. But when the Most High has it to where they are slaves unto the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, and they've put their retribution for they done unto the 12 tribes of Israel, okay, they're going to be doing good, man. Okay, they're going to be doing hella nice. Okay, but we're just going to be doing way, way better than anything that they could imagine. That's spoken about within the book of Isaiah, the 60th chapter, how the forces of the Gentiles are going to come onto us, whether it be their women, their spices, okay? Whatever riches that the Most High has blessed that particular land with, those was going to go on to what? It was going to go on to the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, which is going to be known as the nation of Israel within the time of the Lord's return. Okay? So Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, okay, and the first verse, it says, "And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, to observe and to do all of his commandments, which he has commanded thee this day, that the Lord will set thee upon high above all nations." Let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, the 7th chapter, okay, and the 6th verse. So Deuteronomy 7:6, he says, "For thou art unholy people unto the Lord," which is a racist statement. Okay, you go into the scriptures, you go into the second book of the Lord, the second book of the Bible, and racist statements are being made about how this nation of people was above all people upon the face of the earth. But hold on a minute. If you're a human, a so-called human being, okay, you got favorites. You got your favorite movie. You got your favorite song. Okay, you got your favorite moment in your life. The same thing applies with the Most High. He's got his favorite lily. Okay, he's got his favorite place upon the earth, which was Israel, and he's got his favorite people group, his favorite nation, which was the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans, the Israelites, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. And the Most High set out from the foundations of the earth that this nation was going to be above all the other nations. But see, that was a condition. Okay, the condition was that if you follow the law, statutes, commandments that He has given us, then we was going to be set up on high. Okay, to the end that what? You wasn't going to be in captivity underneath Esau. He was going to be in captivity underneath you. You wasn't going to be a byword and a proverb unto these nations, but there was going to be a byword and a proverb unto you. That was the blessing that was going to come upon Jake if they had followed the law, statutes, commandments that were set up from the foundations of the earth. But we didn't do that, so we had to go through this whole long story of being in captivity underneath the Babylonians. The Medo-Persians releasing us. Then you had the Greeks, they took us into captivity. Okay, then we had a period of what? A rulership, okay, during what's known as the Byzantine Empire. But what was Jake doing during the Byzantine Empire, which is befittingly called the Dark Ages? What was they doing? They weren't going out there establishing righteousness upon the face of the earth. They weren't out there pushing the word of the Lord like they were supposed to be. Like when you go into the scriptures, it says, "Thou shalt be a nation of kings and priests unto me." When you're a king, what do? You administer judgment. But if you're a priest and a king at the same time, what do? You administer judgment by what? By way of the scriptures, man. Okay? And that's not what the 12 tribes of Israel did. That's not what the Negroes, during the Byzantine Empire, that's not what he was doing. They was out there doing all kind of madness. And you had it to where what? The Most High rose up that devil from the bottomless pit, which was the as the Europeans. Okay? The Europeans, he rose them up and they came to rule the world. And guess what? Look at the condition of the world that we're in right now. To the end now, we can understand the whole thing why the Most High did what he did, so that we could understand the whole spectrum of life, if you will. Okay, so you was gonna become like unto gods, going back onto the serpent beguiling Eve. Okay, going back onto the scripture here, it says, Deuteronomy 7:6, it says, "For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy power, and the Lord hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself." So the Messiah said, look, that's Moab, that's Ammon, that's Ishmael, but that's the Israelites. That's my people. The book of Zechariah, the 2nd chapter on the 8th verse, what did it say? Thou art the apple of my eye. Okay, any nation that was going to mess with the 12 tribes of Israel, whether we was in a low state that we're in right now, you got people scoffing at all of that. Guess what? The Messiah said, any word that you speak up against these anointed, you was going to give account for that, man. Okay, you was going to give account for that. And that's going to be, that's the thing that's going to play out within the earth. Seeing it is a righteous thing to recompense them that trouble you, whether it be in speech or whether it be in the physical, just like how you had it to where Esau's out there, okay, destroying Negro, Hispanic, and Native American neighborhoods out there by way of music, food, okay, and all the basics of life. Okay, that's how Esau has destroyed the world, but through the basics of life. Have you listened to a good beat and some good music, and what they speaking about within the song? Adultery, idolatry, and all kind of madness. You go out there, you're trying to get some food, you got crab up on the plate, pork. That's all things that the Most High spoke against. But see, he goes out there, and that's why the scripture calls him the accuser of our brethren, because he has these witchcrafts, okay, set up out there, and they'll pray against the 12 tribes of Israel for all of that wickedness that they be doing. But guess what? The Most High sees all of that, and he was going to give account for that. Okay? Going back onto the point here, it says, Deuteronomy 7:6, it says, "For thou art a holy people unto Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. The Lord hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people upon the face of the earth." So you ain't got it to where you got equality within the world, man. Okay, the Most High didn't set up equality within the world. Okay? You got it to where you got one nation that's above all the other nations, Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. And really, they'll say, oh, these niggas is stupid, they don't have brains. Hold on a minute, these same Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans who have been in the hardcore slavery for 400 years, and we're still some of the top athletes, still top musicians. And really, when a Jake applies his mentality, you're still some of the most smartest people up on the face of the earth. The smartest family within UK is not no English family. That's a Nigerian family. Okay, the most athletic people, most smartest people. Why? Because the Most High blessed this nation, man. But we're in our lowest estate right now. Okay, and we still competing in our most lowest estate. Esau's got to go through all kind of measures, okay, to make sure that you're kept down in a low vibration. He's got to go out there and infiltrate your so-called communities, okay, and have it to where you're kept down, man. He got it to where what? He got systematic segregation out there, okay, by way of years and years and years of inflation in certain neighborhoods. You can't just buy into. That's a system, man. You might not have out and out racism out here, but you got a system set up that's just benefits. You don't benefit Jake. And still Jake is in a position where they still compete, man. Still some of the smartest people up on the face of the planet, sharpest, man. Okay, most athletic. Okay, most dominant, man. Why? Because the Most High has blessed his people, but we went off on the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. But in returning unto the Lord, you wasn't going to take arms out against Esau. Okay, you was going to have it to where the Most High was going to have it. He's going to come back, and he was going to deal with this man with his own self. That's where you go to the book of Isaiah, and it tells you that the Lord wasn't going to meet Esau as a man. Okay, you go into the book of 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. You go into those different scriptures. You find out the Lord was going to do the heavy lifting, and we was just going to be partaker of what? Of the vengeance that the Lord was going to come with. That's within the book of Isaiah, the 63rd chapter. 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. Again, all scriptures that we can go into a little bit later on. Okay, so Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, on the first verse, it says, "It shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe and do all of his judgment, commandments that he will command this day, the Lord will set thee on high." So when we have it to where the new covenant is established, when the Lord's return, that's going to be a great day for the 12 tribes of Israel. You was never going to go off, man. Okay, there was no need to, you wasn't going to go be out there, offering some turtle dove out there, praying to the Most High to have mercy upon you, okay, because you went off. You wasn't going to ever go off. But in not going off, you was going to be blessed. That's where the thing of the kingdom of heaven being set up was going to be such a great thing, because we was never going to lose that kingdom. Let's get that within the book of Daniel. Okay? Oh, we lighting up now. Okay? Moving now. The fires, the fire's rising. Okay? Daniel 2:44. Okay? Daniel 2:44, it says, "In the days of these kings, the elite banking families, okay, the presidents that you go out there, Putin, okay, Assad, okay, the Rothschilds, all of these different kings that you got within the world, they might call themselves bosses, employers, presidents, okay? They're all the same thing. They're all kings of certain provinces and towns and businesses, whatever it is, it's still a king. But in the days of these particular kings in this time, okay, in the days of these kings, shall the Most High set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. Why wasn't going to ever be destroyed? Because the new covenant was that what? That the Most High was going to take away the stony heart. It was going to give the heart of flesh unto the 12 tribes of Israel, the Negroes, Hispanics, Native Americans. And they was going to be doing right all the time, man. Okay? So there wasn't going to be a situation when you had some dude come up in the camp, okay, spread some old Hellenism like you had, what's this dude? Jason the Hellenizer during the time of the Maccabees. You wasn't going to have a dude come up in the ranks and deceive the people into going up. You wasn't going to have it to where you have what's Jezebel's Ahab. Okay, you wasn't going to have an Ahab going into the doctrine and the philosophies of the Canaanites. Okay, because that stony heart was going to be removed from the 12 tribes of Israel. But rather they was going to have a heart of flesh, and they was going to be serving the Most High perpetually. So that kingdom, when it was going to be established, that throne, that dominion with it, over the nations of the world was going to be forever, man. Okay? That's why you go into the scriptures, you find out that Esau was going to be destroyed forever. Because when you go into the scriptures, you find out the perpetual enemy of Jacob was Esau. Now you had it where the Babylonians rose up and they war, yeah, but that's one time. Okay? The Greeks, the Greeks were the Edomites. Okay, you find out during the Babylonian times, as you're going to see within the book of Obadiah, even during the Babylonian times, you had it to where Esau was coming up in the ranks of the Babylonians and grieving Jacob. It wasn't even his time to rule, and he was still putting all kind of hell upon Jacob, man. So the perpetual war has been between who? Jacob and Esau. Okay, and why was Esau always coming up against Jacob? Because of the thing of following the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High. But when you go into where the law, statutes, commandments of the Most High is impregnated within their minds, the Israelites' minds, and they're doing right all the time, there's no need for the sword, the wicked, which is the Most High's sword, man. That's within the book of Psalms. Okay, the Most High said it to her. The scripture says that what? Judge, deliver me from the wicked, which is thy sword, because thy sword is to do what? To administer judgment. And the Most High administers judgment unto the whole nation, the 12 tribes of Israel, by way of Esau. Why? Because we went off on the law, statutes, commandments that he has set up. We ain't ever going to do that again. Okay? That's why the scripture says what it says. Okay, Daniel 2:44 says, in the days of these kings shall the Most High set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever, man. Okay, and when you go into this whole thing, man, you had it to where different empires were set up. They rose to prominence, they fell, they got switched out with another nation. Esau was the end of that, and Jacob was the beginning of it that followed. But Jacob's thing was going to be forever. Okay. And let's go back onto the book of Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and the 28 and 2. And it says, and these blessings shall come upon thee and overtake thee, okay, and thou shalt, if thou wilt hearken unto the voice of the Lord. So when the Lord sets up this thing of the new covenant, okay, he sets it up to where Jacob is just, in rulership, got the Lord sets commandments, and in their mind they're just doing right. That ain't going to be a thing that's going to be, you're praying for a blessing, the blessing don't come. Okay, you gotta pray again, you gotta fast. That's not gonna happen, man. Okay, what's gonna happen is, man, you're gonna be thinking about, the blessing you just got, and then the other one's gonna come and overtake you. Okay, you go this way, Esau right now, he's in a position of balling. Okay, he might set up a business, and the business just grows. I mean, not so much these days, because he's gonna decline. Okay, but that's why I was gonna be out there within the kingdom. Okay, so that's points made. Let's go now into the book of Obadiah, and then I'll go into the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, and maybe 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, and we just flow in the spirit. Okay, so Obadiah 1 and 3. Okay, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. So Esau is greatly despised. You see in them, you see in these different nations now. Okay, especially with the thing with Trump, you're seeing these different nations now grow a great hatred against the Edomites, man. Okay, because now they know them as the nation of lies and deceit. Okay, hypocrites. Okay, because they'll say, look, hold on a minute. Here is the rules of how the game's supposed to be played. Okay, when you're going out there to retaliate against the nation, or if something that so-called happened, like the thing out there within Syria, you gotta go through certain measures and proofs. Okay, you gotta prove it. You gotta get the evidence. You gotta go through the proper procedures. You gotta have a council and all of that. But these dudes weren't on that council thing. They just wanted to take our side out. So they did it. And so these nations are coming to the understanding that this man's the devil, man. Okay, and more importantly, this man is the devil that the scripture speaks about. It wasn't going to be another people or another group of nation that was going to rule the world in wickedness. This was the last kingdom of wickedness. And hey, Barak Habashing outside for that, because you take a look at the world right now, it can't get, it could get much worse, but you damn sure wouldn't want it any worse. Okay, the scripture talks about how if the Most High didn't return, there wasn't going to be any flesh left to save. You go out there into the sea, you got plastics within the ocean. Okay, you got oil spills out there within the ocean. Okay. You go out there, you breathe in the air, you just got all kind of chemicals put into there. You go out there, you do a herbal diet. The herbs ain't even as powerful as they used to be 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Okay, through what's known as what? Intensive farming and what's the other word? Fertilizers. All kind of poison they put out there within it. And that's the herbs. That's before you even go into an apple, a GMO apple that doesn't rot. How that's supposed to be good for you? Okay, when you go into the different analysis that they do, okay, on deceased bodies, they're finding out that these deceased bodies are lasting a lot longer than they used to because they got all kind of chemicals within them, man. There's a thing within science known as biological accumulation, meaning to say the guy that's at the top of the food chain accumulates the most dirt because you're eating everything else that's eating dirt, man. And that goes for when you're eating fish out there. The fish out there is eating dirt, plastics. So you're going to be part plastic, man. Okay? So this is a totally wicked kingdom, but these different nations are really, everybody's coming to the understanding that what? That this man's the devil, so he is greatly despised amongst these different people. Okay? So it says, behold, I've made thee small amongst the heathen, thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart has deceived thee, that thou dwellest in the clefts of the rock. I wonder who that's going to be talking about. Because he wasn't talking about the Arabs. Ain't no well-documented instance where you had it to where the Arabs out there, okay, unless I'm sadly mistaken, but still the point still stands, they were out there living in some cave somewhere. Okay, that's not the history of the Arabs. Now, if you said it out there in a sand cave or something like that, now, a sand castle, okay, I'll be more inclined to listen to that point. But the fact of the matter is, it says, he that dwelleth in the cleft of the rock, and coupled it with who? With pride. Okay, because what? Because you got it to where this man is the most proud nation that's ever existed upon the face